Hey, welcome into Tony Talking Trash about music. Today I decided to do a little bit something different along with the program to add something else in here. I had a recent birthday and I decided as one of my birthday presents to grab a box set that I didn't have. And it really, for a very rare thing, contained music from a band that I had never really heard these records before. I'd heard bits and pieces of things before, but I'd never really heard it before. So I guess this is the closest to reaction video you're going to get. What did I buy? Well, I bought the box set, the Mr. Bungle box set, the Mr. Bungle, quote unquote, 1991 to 1999 box set. It's a beautiful outside box, but I will say, when you get to the records inside it here, and I put them in plastic so they're a little tighter than they were before, there's nothing extra in here. There's no explanation or anything from it. You can find this stuff online. I will say this, and I was attracted to this band because of, the John Zorn connection. I have been a fan of some of the Mike Patton stuff, not so much Faith No More. I'm not really I like the Chili Peppers okay. I remember seeing them in DC at 9:30 and everything like that, going through the various, with Hillel and everybody through the early days. And I knew them back in the days of Freaky Styley and all that stuff. But, and then I knew that Mr. Bungle had that epic or whatever that song was. It was a big deal, but I never really, because of Patton, connected these. And you never would connect these things. Let me just say something about what I have found out. And the reason why I didn't get any of these records before, obviously, was the price of these. They were hard to find. I never could find them anywhere. But this reissue they have, and I put these in bags. I guess I'll keep the records inside here. But we'll look at this real fast here. But this is a beautiful packaging here. It's got quote unquote slowly growing depth, squeeze me, Mr. Macaroni, squeeze me macaroni, carousel egg, stub a dub, my ass is on fire, the girls are porn, love is a fist, and death goon. And this record's the words on it are as outrageous as everything else. But the fragmentary nature of it, and I listened to it directly on, and I'd heard some bits and pieces before this about what they had done. I was intrigued with it. But I was really not prepared for the fragmentary nature and the sampling and the intensity it must have taken to get this thing done and sound exactly right. I mean, when you do music like this requires a level of precision. That's why I can't believe that some of this stuff was actually played live, because these tempos, these shifts, these things that they do here, and they have a little bit of a hardcore overtone to it also, which makes it really interesting. I heard some of the guys in the band, they were saying that they were fans of both Merciful Fate and like, I guess, Holdsworth at the same time. The members, Mike Patton, uh, Trey Spruance, Trevor Dunn, and now it's Scott Ian and Dave Lombardo. But it was Theo Ningel, Jed Watts, Luke Miller, Scott Fritz, Hans Walker. And they did just music. They had brass. They had all kind of things. And it reminds you hear pieces of like some of those bands in D.C., like the Muffins and Fred Frith. And you also hear fragments of the Hollywood thing. And that's really, comes to bit a lot when you get to the third record. There are big differences in these records, even though these records are different styles. It's hard for me to believe that somebody, that this band could be, and I take it from what I've read from them, and I don't know. You guys probably know a shitload more than me. That's why you should leave the comments here with this, because I don't know much about this band other than what I've seen. But I know where the name came from. I know a little bit of this of the history and stuff, and I know they had a long road to there before. And I just don't. It's amazing to me that a band could put out stuff like this and think they could get signed. Here's the gem of the three. I think, to me, this second record is something different. I mean, you can clearly tell it's done from cinematic work. You can hear the influence of some of the cinematic, composers, Morricone, different people in here, but the Hollywood and the Holly weird type of thing too. Um, I've never heard anything like this, and it is amazing to me that they even got this thing out, that Disco Volante, because there is nothing, absolutely nothing commercial about this whatsoever. Chemical Marriage, Carry Stress in the Jaw, Mind Emissions is the unreleased track on this one, but it's just Platypus. It's really unbelievable. I mean, You know, you've got all kind of stuff here. Reeds, you've got Patton on vocals, micro cassette organs, octarina. You've got Clint McKinnon playing drums on one track, keyboards on one. Uh, Fippe, keyboards, organs, electronics, uncooked meat prior to state vector collapse. I mean, it's just everyone I went to high school with is dead. There's something about this record, and I don't know what it is, but I've already listened to it, you know, two more times over the other one. It just immediately struck a chord with me. I don't know, maybe it's somewhere they got these samples, but there's just something about this album, and I don't have any idea how in the world they got signed. When you would walk into a record company executive's office and say, "Hey, here's what I got." I mean, this is beyond in complexity. I mean, it's carries that whole beef Hardy thing of if you get in the groove, it's corny. Now these guys do get in some fast grooves, some different, but it doesn't last for long. Nothing lasts for a very long time. And then comes the final one here. They've made three records, and they made a fourth record now. I know Scott Egan and these guys are in it. They made like a uh, disco record, or not disco, hardcore record, and I don't have that one yet. This is only the material, I guess, up to about 2000. But this one here, the this California record, you know, evidently there was some kind of hassle in 1999 about them putting it out with the Chili Peppers. Dude, it's definitely, you can hear the Beach Boys in it, but you can hear the Hollywood studio music of like the stuff in the Warner Brothers cartoons and the you can hear all those kind of sounds influence this. It's amazing to me that they could play live. I just don't understand really with this level of complexity, even with a record like this that is far more sound based. Of the three records, this is not representative of the other two. The other two to me are of a kind, with the second one being even like a harder version. If Mr. Bungle was Trout Mask Replica, then the second record, Disco Volante, this record, the one with the weird haunting thing with the eye, then that record's licked my decals off. I mean, it's that kind of a thing. But this one, I think it goes further than that. I think the difference is more than that. It just sounds like somebody was dug in pretty good, and whoever that is, beautiful. Because this of the three I have, this one is the most baffling. This is like almost like they tried to make a commercial or tried to do something they could do with it. But you've got all kind of stuff through here. None of them knew they were robots. The air conditioned nightmare, punk cigarette, Vanity Fair, goodbye sober day. I mean, and then they've got Nostris as a final thing, a final extra bonus track. But I'm just saying that this record uh, is different from the others. It's a lot more singable. It's a lot more song-like. The others, there's really performance-wise, it's really amazing to me. And I'm going to go look for some of the live stuff. But I would like to see some of this done live. This has intrigued me. It really has. Rarely at my age do I step out and encounter something that I at least haven't heard something of before, you know, to move on. But I'd heard of this band before. Of course, I knew some of Pat, and I've got some of his other stuff, and I've got some of the other things, the projects that they've done. But in the interim period before they came back for the punk thing, I've not heard the punk record yet. I have it on order; should be here soon. But I'm not as big of a fan of as the punk end and the metal end of things as they are as the avant-garde things. They've really got a mastery of things that is almost beyond. You know, it's you can hear the Zappa-esque and everything. I mean, Zappa figures big in a lot of this. Maybe they don't realize it, but it's that West Coast thing. You can hear Brian Wilson in equal parts too. So to that end, you know, those are two of my favorite artists. You know that I really like this. So am I glad to get this? What would I give it? I would give the reissue itself probably a B plus or a B. I mean, not a B plus, a B, because it doesn't have anything extra in it. You figure to have a booklet, it would have something in it, you know, done with it. The way it looks and the quality of the record, the quality of pressing seems okay to me. But again, I'm not one to speak on reissues, and I will always say the original is better. Why is the original better? Because it's the original. It's that which everything else is compared to. People say they can improve on that. I think it's an academic. That's an academic wankery type of a thing to me. That's why I don't understand all these remixes. Why people want these things, but nevertheless, uh, Mr. Bungle, hanging out with Mr. Bungle was a lot of fun. I'm going to continue to listen to it some more. I think of the three records, honestly, if I was going to rate them in order, certainly the second one would be my favorite one. First would be my second favorite, and then California would be third. California is going to take me a little bit of getting used to. I just wasn't expecting it after listening to the other two. They really scrambled me good. And then that one came along. I'm like, what the hell? It's kind of weird. Maybe they needed something to play live. It sounds a little more doable live. But yeah, man, I was really impressed. Really impressed with the musicianship. Really impressed with the writing and the intensity of it. And you can definitely tell when it was recorded. You know, in the time period it was recorded, late '80s, early '90s. It's got that thumpy, harsh, beginning of digital sound. They really harnessed it very well. And see, I don't think they'll ever be. They'll never be in a position where they're of any artistic. Or I mean, sales-wise, big, and it surprised me they've been as successful as they have. I guess people know who they are, but listen. Was a boomer says, blah blah blah. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me. This is a Boomer's Discovery here. To me, it's kind of a reaction video, and I appreciate it. Please do us a favor if you can and hit the like button and subscribe if you like. And leave your comments below. Thank you for following us and following along with us on this journey and checking out this video. And I certainly would recommend to get that Mr. Bungle box set for anybody because I think if you're holding out for an original, they didn't make that many of them. And they're through the roof as far as vinyl goes. And these are all pretty good pressings and good quality pressings. And it all sounds good to me. So in that regard, I would rank the box fairly high. Thank you very much. See you next time. Leave your comments below, please. Tell me about Mr. Bungle. I don't know anything about it. Please tell me about it. Thank you, guys. I just wanted to give you a first reaction on this. Have a good evening.